Alrighty, another day, another Woodle. Let's go with the classic state. And there's one in the right spot already. Let's try plate, just to try to see if you can rule out something. So there's either a P or an L in some other spot, and the one that's in the right spot is right over in one of these three spots, right? So we can rule out the S for sure. Let's try to rule out another one. Let's go with plain. Interesting. So there's two in the right spot. One from here. So PLA and the E, and we just change the T to the N. So the T is definitely not it. So otherwise this would have been gone. And we also know that the N is a yellow. It's somewhere, not in that spot for sure. So we can take this out. So it's either the A or the E. Let me go with one more place, potentially. Okay, so nothing changed. There's 1 and 2. Oh, so that means that this is also a yellow? Because there is, let me just double check. The PLA T E. The T is definitely not it, because if you change this whole thing, you've got that 1, and then you've also one of these two, unless highly rare. One of these in the right spot, and the other one is like meh. But we've got the 1, 1, 1. So we've got LAE is common to all of these. All of them have that. And then we switch from here to here. We have 2 in the right spot, 2 in the right spot again. So that means the N is the new introduction, the C is the new introduction over here. We still can't tell anything about these, but we have this and this. We know one of these is yellow. Probably not the P, because the PLA and E give us 2 things. And it could be the P as well, actually. So the P could be it, or it could be the L. So it's either a P or L. There's a C, there's an E, N, and there is the, it's either a T, A, or E in the right spot. Moving from here to here, it is probably the A or the E in the right spot. So the T is probably not even a part of it. Let's say that the E is in the right spot. So it's Cano, maybe? C. But we can't have the A if the E is in there, so it can't be Cano. Because if you're doing Cano, we've got the E in the right spot, the O is just like an unknown in that spot. We've got the N, we've got the C in different places. But the A is not a thing. And we also need to somehow fit a P or an L. So honestly, it could be the A in the right spot then. And we got the L, C. So what if it is XXA, and the C and the N. So the N and the C, or it ends at the N. So we'll say it ends at the N, or it ends with the A. L. One of those two. So then you have the C at the end. And the P or the L in a different spot. So if it starts with the L, what if it is the E in the right spot? So we can go O L E or O P E or I P E or O I L E. And the C and the N have to be at the beginning though. I think if the C and N have to be in a different spot, it has to be the A, right? So A, C, N, and this means XX. And then the C, N can be at the beginning or at the end. I will be tempted to say that it's going to be over here, so it's either the L or the N at the end. Nope. Okay, it doesn't make sense because if it's a C at the beginning, the PC, LC, they don't make sense. I might want to just save some time, move on to another word just to sort of confirm stuff. Let's try something that isn't. We can get the O and the U and figure that stuff out, and also the N and a D. Let's try getting some more letters in. Okay, so there's one from here, probably the O. If I can only get some stuff out, let's try guard. And if this is green, that means either the U is moved to the right spot, or there's an A. I'm going to be more inclined to say there's the A part. Interesting. So the A is definitely not it, because otherwise this would be it marked as green. So we know that A isn't a thing. All the way over here. We also know that there's one yellow still. So the yellow is one of GURD. So the O isn't a part of that. So that leaves either the T or the E in the right spot. and there's two, so there's either a P or L, and the N has to be it. And there's a C. Mm. I feel like this logic might be a little bit off. Maybe. Can we just like create something with all these and figure out if this is the one? So we have S. I just realized if this is the T, if the T is in the word, then this yellow could refer to this T. Or would have to refer to this T. And then either the green is the P or the E. And if you take a look at it that way, it's P or an E, P or an E. And or the L as well. So it could be this and the L, this and the L. So just knocking out either L or T. If I can knock out a T, that'd be great. Or if I can confirm a T. So let's go with, we know the S isn't it. So Tosas. We could try the G, just like generic thing. Togas. Let's try this. Alright, so we know that there's no T. That should, I think, after this clue, we should get the word. There's definitely no T. The E is in the right spot. And there's no A, there's no O, there's no S, there's no G either. Given that, the two things, I mean this and one of these two is that, one of these two plus the N, one of these two plus the C. So there's a C, there is a N. Let me just like type in the letters that we have. C, there's an N. There is a P or an L. We'll just put that in as P or L. I am P for now. And there is some other letter that is either U, R, or D. And there is an E at the end. So we have the letters that we need. We know there's a C, there's an N. We know that it ends with an E. And yeah. So given that, we need to definitely have another vowel. So the U is probably the vowel that we have. There's no R and D. So I'm pretty sure that the U, and it's not in those two places either. So I guess it would, this wouldn't make sense though. So C, L, N, because the C and the N can't be over, it has to be one of these three places. So C-U-N, maybe? C-U-N makes E. and then this is going to be either the P or the L. Kunpi, Kunli? That doesn't make sense either. Let's try There's something about this that just feels a little bit off. We know that the E is in the right spot. Concune. The U has to be it, because realistically, how are we going to have all these letters? Because we know one of these two, that's one letter, 2, 3 letters. Four letters, and we need to have a. So, I mean, they can't all be vowels, right? Oh, it's uncle. That solves it. The L is over here, the C is over here, and is over there, and starts with the U. Uncle. That one was decently challenging. There we go.